All right, our objective for today, I can solve and graph multi-step one variable inequalities. Let's read it together. 1, 2, 3. I can solve and graph multi-step one variable inequalities. So notice we already did all the simple ones, the one-steppers, right? We did addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Today, we're starting with multi-step. And like I said, if you've been practicing the warm-ups and we've been practicing all those multi-step equations, you're going to see how it applies to this the same. So once again, we're showing the same concept, one variable inequalities. We know what the one variable inequalities are. I gave you guys examples on example, definition. I gave you guys steps. Is that correct? Okay. Now, on your Cornell notes, I gave you Cornell notes. Look at step number 1. It says simplify each side of the, okay, it says the equation on your paper. Can you just put a dash through equation and write inequality on your paper? Step 1. It should read, solve each side of the inequality. Step 1, put a dash through it and write inequality. Also, step 4, look at the last word on step 4. What does it say?
Equation.
Equation, you need to change it to inequality on your paper. The last step on step 4, it should read inequality. And the reason is that we use the same steps, don't we? Yes. What are our basic steps? Simplify, isolate, plot, and check. Okay? So without further ado, let's get started. Yes. Look at example 1. You have that in front of you. Let's work this one together. This is a 2-step. So it should be a simple inequality. So here we go. We need to simplify it first each side. Can we simplify this side? No. This side? No. Isolate, which means leave the variable by itself. Yes, I need to get rid of this 45. So what is the inverse? Subtract 45 to each side. These cancel. We're left with 2b greater than 61 minus 45. That's 16. We're still isolating the variables. That means we need to leave the variable by itself by dividing by 2. Divide by 2. B is greater than 8. Okay? It was 2 steps. Let's see. 1, 2. Everybody see that? That's why these are called 2 steps. But I'm labeling everything multi-step because we're going to start with 2 steps and it's going to start building up. Yes. Okay, so we simplified, yes. Isolate, yes. What's next? Plot. So let's graph this. Here's my number line. 0, 8 is right here. Let's see. Does it include the point? No, it's an open circle because it does not have the little equal sign. And let's read it. B is greater than 8. What numbers are greater than 8?
24.
Anything to this side, including 23? Okay. Anything? So we already did all our steps up to here. Is that correct? However, look what it says. We plot it. We're going to go ahead and check. So let's write here check right next to it. We're going to rewrite this 45 plus 2, and instead of B, I'm going to open a parenthesis, greater than 61. So let's see. I'm going to choose a number that's on my solution set here. Let's see if I choose
24.
Okay, 23. So 2 times 23, that's 46, and I bring everything else down. The 45, the plus, the greater than, and the 61. 45 plus 46, that's 91. Is 91 greater than 61?
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. We're done checking. However, look at what it says. Write the solution in set notation. So let's write our set notation. The set of all, what variable are they using? Of all B, such that, what was our inequality at the end that once we solved?
8.
B is greater than 8, and we're done.
That's the answer.
That's it. That's our solution set. Okay, so once again, the set of all B's where B is greater than A. Okay, so with that said, look at the next one to your right of your paper. It should be just about the same as this one. See if you can do that one by yourself. And I'll get you started with the first step. So let's see, I need to simplify. I can't simplify each side. Can I isolate the variable? Yes, I'm going to start by getting rid of this 8. So what is the inverse of positive 8? Negative 8. Subtract 8 from each side. We're left with negative 3y greater than or equal to 21. I'll give you some time to finish. Okay, let's see. So from there, the negative 3 is multiplying. So what is the inverse? Divide by negative 3 both sides. Divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. 1 times y is y. Since we divided by a negative, what happens to the symbol? It flips. There it is. 21 divided by negative 3, that's negative 7. Hands if you got that. Okay. Let's graph our solution set. We got 0. Negative 7 is about right here. Does it include the point? Yes, because it's got the equal sign, so I need to plot my point right there. Y is less than negative 7. If y is less than negative 7, what numbers are less than negative 7?
Negative 24.
Negative 8, negative 9, all the way to negative infinity that way. Okay? Now let's check. Let's rewrite our inequality. 8 minus 3, and instead of the variable, we're going to open a parenthesis, greater than or equal to 29. Bless you. So let's see. I'm going to choose a number from my solution set just to make sure that I got this right. And probably the easiest one I can think of is negative 10 from that solution set. Is that correct? Yeah. So what is negative 3 times negative 10?
Positive 30.
Positive 30, and I bring everything else down. The 8, the greater than or equal to, and the 29. So let's see. What is 8 plus 30? That's 38. Is 38 greater than or equal to 29? Yes, so we shaded in the right direction with our solution set being on this side. So let's write our notation set. So we already plotted, we already checked it. Notation. The set of all what?
Number of y.
Of all y's, or number y, such that, what is our inequality?
Y is less than
Y is less than or equal to negative 7. Okay, let's continue. Number 3. Okay, let's do this one together. It says 1 minus 2n over 3 greater than or equal to 7. So, since we don't have two fractions, but we have this 3 dividing here, to get rid of this 3 that's dividing, what is the inverse? Multiply times 3. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. We're left with 1 minus 2n greater than or equal to 21. All right. So we need to get rid of this positive 1. What is the inverse? Negative 1. Negative 1. Careful with these, because some of you get confused because you see a minus here and you actually add 1. But no, this is a positive 1. So these cancel. We're left with negative 2n greater than or equal to 20. What's my last step? Divide by negative 2, because the negative 2 is multiplying. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. 1 times n is n. Since we divided by negative, we flip the inequality. This is negative 10. Let's graph our solution set. Here's 0. Negative 10 is about right here. Do we include the point? Yes, so we plot our point. That means we include that number in our solution set. And it says n is less than negative 10. What number is our less than negative 10?
Negative 24.
Negative 11, and everything to the negative infinity. Okay? Let's check it. Check. I'm going to rewrite this. 1 minus 2, but instead of the variable, I'm going to open a parenthesis, over 3, greater than or equal to 7. So I'm going to select the number from here, and I'm going to go ahead and select, let's see, how about, I'm going to select number negative 11, and I'm going to substitute that in here, negative 11. All right, what is negative 2 times negative 11?
Negative 22.
Negative 2 times negative 11 is positive 22. I bring everything else down, the 1 over 3 greater than or equal to 7. 1 plus 22, that's 23 over 3 greater than or equal to 7. What is 23 divided by 3? How many times does it fit in there?
7 times.
7, and we have 2 left over, so it's 2/3. So is 7 2/3 greater than or equal to 7? Yes. And we're done.
Now we do the solution.
Our set notation, it says, the set of all what? N such that N is less than or equal to negative 10, which is this inequality that came out at the end. So far, so good? Okay, let's continue. Number 4. Copy this down, please. See if you can do that one by yourself, please. Do the entire process. You have your steps, and then I'll call on somebody to help us out. Go. So, to clarify, since, yes, we usually start where there's addition and subtraction. However, since we cannot simplify the numerator or the denominator anymore, this is kind of like having 2 fractions, isn't it? Everybody look up. Isn't this a fraction? If we were to cross multiply, what do we get? Negative 2 times 3. Does everybody see that? So therefore, in order to do that, to get rid of this negative 2 that's dividing, we need to multiply negative 2 to both sides. And once again, just to reiterate, if we multiply or divide by a negative, what happens to the symbol? We flip it. This becomes x plus 5 less than negative 6. From there, we subtract 5 from each side, and we're left with x less than negative 11. Our graph. 0, negative 11. X is less than negative 11. What numbers are less than negative 11? Everything to the left. For those of you that are still struggling with some of the words, first of all, does it include the point? No, so I'm just going to circle. Check this out. X is less than. What letter does less stand for? Less. It starts with which letter? Less. Therefore, we go to the left. Anyways, from there we're going to check, but it does sound greater than. We go to the right. Here we go. I'm going to rewrite this, open parentheses, plus 5 over negative 2 greater than 3. So I'm going to substitute a number in there. How about I substitute, let me see, negative 27. Negative 28. Negative 28. Better. Negative 28. Negative 28 plus 5, that's negative 23. Over negative 2 greater than 3. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 23 divided by 2, that's 11.5. Is 11.5 greater than 3? Yes. So we're done. So our notation set, the set of all x such that x is less than negative 11. Okay? So far, so good? All right, let's continue. Number 5. Write this down, please. If it fits there, well, if not, flip it over, do it in the back. Here we go. Yes, we have about 10 more to go. 2 minus, negative 10, close parentheses, greater than negative 4 times t. Okay, let's do this one together. It says, step 1, simplify each side of the inequality. Start with grouping symbols. Okay, here we go. Here's a grouping symbol. What's the coefficient?
1.
-1. So -1 times -10 becomes positive 10. We bring down the 2, the greater than, the -4, and the t. It says, after grouping symbols, combine like terms. So 2 plus 10, that's 12, greater than -4, 2. So we're done with simplifying. Let's isolate. To isolate, I need to leave the t by itself. It has a -4 multiplying. So what is the inverse? Divide by -4 both sides. And we're left with -3 less than t. And why did I flip it? Because I divided by a negative. Let's graph this. Our solution set is 0. -3 is right here. Does it include the point?
No.
No, it's an open circle. And it reads, -3 is less than t. So what number can we substitute for t to make this true that -3 is less than that number?
On the right.
23, is that correct?
24.
Yeah, because if we substitute that, it's -3 less than 23. So everything to the right will be my solution. Any number to the right. Check. Let's rewrite it. But instead of, let's see, 2 minus parentheses -10, close parentheses, greater than -4, and open parentheses for t. I'm going to choose, let's see, I'm going to use 0 since it's part of my solution set. And that's the easiest number to use. What is -4 times 0? 0. Let's see. Negative times a negative, or -1 times -10, that's positive 10. 2 plus 10, that's 12. Is 12 greater than 0? Yes. Our notation. The set of all t such that t is what? Greater than -3. Okay, copy the next one, number 6. Copy this down. All right. -4 times parentheses 2 minus x, close parentheses, less than or equal to 8. You have the steps, so go ahead and work that one out. Go step by step, and then I'll call on somebody to help us out. Go. Okay. X less than or equal to 4. Let's check. First of all, we have a -4, and it says first step, simplify by grouping symbols. Looking at grouping symbols, we need to distribute here. This becomes -8 plus 4x less than or equal to 8. Hands if you got that so far. Okay. Next, we need to get rid of this -8, so we add 8 to each side. Add 8 to each side. We're left with 4x less than or equal to 16. The last step, divide by 4, divide by 4. X is less than or equal to 4. Our graph, 0, 4. Does it include the point? Yes. It says 8, X is less than 4. What numbers are less than 4?
3.
Everything to the left. And then we check our work to make sure we got it. -4, parentheses, 2 minus a parentheses for the x, less than 8. So I'm going to choose an easy number here. What would be an easy number? 0. Okay, so let's see. Let me simplify inside of the parentheses. What is 2 minus 0?
2.
2. Bring down the -4, less than or equal to 8. -4 times 2, that's -8. Is -8 less than or equal to 8? Yes, that's true in our notation. The set of all x such that x is less than or equal to 4. Hands if you got all those points by yourself. Okay, very good. Let's continue. Number 7. Here we go. Let's continue. Copy this down. Number 7. 2/3 f plus 1/2 greater than 1/3. Yes, we do. We've been doing these. Do we have fractions all over the place? Yes.
Yes.
So to get rid of the fractions, that means we need to multiply times the lowest common denominator, the LCD. What is our LCD? 6. Keep it down, please. 6 times 2, that's 12, and the denominator stays the same, F, plus 6 times 1, that's 6 over 2, greater than 6 times 1, that's 6 over 3. Tell your neighbor what stays the same. Okay, so we're still on step 1. We're simplifying. So let's see. Let's simplify this. This is 4s plus 3 greater than 2. Does this look familiar? Yes, we know what to do from there. So, for homework, we're looking at pages 165 through 166, and we're doing numbers what? Numbers what? 2 to 48, every other even. Okay, turn in your homework on your way out. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your homework. I'll see you guys tomorrow.